Go shopping for a Porsche 911 and there's absolutely no shortage of choice. You can typically choose between about 20 different models, but this one is one of the most popular, accounting for about a quarter of sales. It's the GTS, and it's trying to be the Goldilocks of 911s. Not as hard-edged as a GT3 and not as soft and cushy as a Carrera S. In the past, the 911 GTS has been an absolute ripper. Fast and sharp, but very livable every day. So the big question is, can this one live up to that sort of standard? Well, there is one big change with this car, and that is, just like the rest of the 911 range, it's switched from a naturally aspirated or non-turbo to now a turbocharged engine. So 3 litre, slightly smaller than before, but 2 turbos, and producing not only more power, but a heap more torque. That mid-range pull that is so important to the performance equation. All up, there's 331 kilowatts to play with and 550 newton meters of torque. Enough to launch the GTS to 100 kilometres an hour in as little as 3.6 seconds. It's priced from a smidge over $300,000, about 25 grand more than a regular Carrera S, which is the next step down in the 911 range. So straight off the bat, you have to wonder, can you get all that excitement, that purity out of a turbocharged engine? And one hit of the accelerator would suggest yes. There's no question this has got more punch than the previous GTS, and it's got more punch than the regular 911, but it also still sounds great. Porsche's done some work with the exhaust, so given it a few more pops and burbles, and it's got bigger turbos than the regular 911. Yet despite those tweaks and changes, all aimed at performance, the GTS is also really livable on the road. It's surprisingly comfortable. There's a bit of tyre noise, so cruising along at 100 k's an hour you can certainly notice there's noise going on there, but at the same time it does a pretty nice job of keeping it comfy. And if you have a look around the GTS, you notice some subtle differences to the design. So outside, for example, there's a lot of black finishes, so they've replaced silver and chrome with a more sinister looking black, and it does look pretty cool, particularly the wheels, some of the badging and so on. Inside as well, it's very different. So we've got a lot of Alcantara or fake suede. We've got things like stitching, for example, on the dash, some carbon fibre. So again, it all stands out. It's a little bit more modern, a bit sportier, all in the whole theme of what the car's about. Yet at the same time, you've got all the practicalities that make a 911 such an easy sports car to live with. Back seats, yeah, you're not going to want to put people there too often, but it's an extra boot. You've got a decent sized boot up front. So there's things like that that make this car, again, a livable sports car. So it's on a track where you can really appreciate the extra effort that's gone into this GTS. The extra cornering ability, so it just turns in a bit sharper. Phenomenal mid-corner grip, and that's largely because of the tyres we've got on this thing, but sits remarkably flat, hugely forgiving, so you can tip in extremely quickly and it still looks after you. So that's one of the beauties of this car. It is just such a great all-rounder. It's definitely not as sharp as a GT3, but on a track like this where there are a few bumps and undulations, it's probably a better bet because it just deals with those bumps a little bit better. And the best bit is, I can drive it home now. And that is the beauty of the 911 GTS. You can go for a thrash around a racetrack and it does a brilliant job, an awesome job, fantastic fun and super quick. Pop it back on the road and it's just as good. It's easy to see why this car is such a popular version of the 911.